Aloha and mahalo for participating in the Go Giver Gratitude Challenge Relationship Edition. Today, I want to take some time to recap all the wonderful laws we learned in the Go Giver book and remind you what my trade secret is for relationship success. Let's start off by reviewing the 5 laws of stratospheric success. The law of value. Your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. The law of compensation. Your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. The law of influence. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. The law of authenticity. The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. And the law of receptivity. The key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. These are my simplified versions of the laws. Okay, so I'm breaking them down for you because sometimes when I read those laws, it feels a bit poetic and we can get a little lost in them. So I wanted to simplify them for you. Okay. 1, I think it's saying to give more value. It's very simple, straightforward. 2, serve more people and serve them well. 3, be interested in other people's interests. 4, be authentic. And 5, the only way you can truly give is to stay open to receiving. But let's take this one step further and see how these laws are all interconnected. When we learned the first law, we learned to give more value. And in the third law, we were told to stay interested in other people's interests. And in the fourth law, we found out the most valuable gift is ourselves. Now let's put these together. I believe that when we give people the gift of our attention and interest, it can change someone's life. I recently watched a TED Talk given by a 7-year-old girl titled How Every Child Can Thrive by 5. She begins her talk by asking a question. What if I told you a game of peekaboo can change the world? And she so eloquently goes on to explain that every child is hardwired to seek connection. She showed us that when a parent gives their child their undivided attention, it supports their brain development. The game of peekaboo actually helps a child develop memory and trust. Okay, but I digress. And if you know me and you know me well, that can happen often. But my point here is the power of giving someone our attention, or even from the other side of the coin, the value of receiving someone's undivided attention. As we put together the first, third, and fourth laws from the Go Giver, I believe it is saying this: give more of our undivided attention to someone else's interests, especially to those we love and who we want to feel our love. In the second law, it really teaches us to serve more people and serve them well. From this law, I realized that it's all about giving more of our undivided attention to more people, to every person we encounter. And finally, the fifth law of receiving. What I heard so clearly this time around is that we cannot effectively give without first being willing and open to receive. And that means we must be willing to receive the love, attention, kindness, joy, and gratitude of those around us in order to be able to truly give our undivided attention to every person we encounter. Here's the big aha. All right. If you feel burnt out and frustrated in life, I bet it's because you've been trying to give without receiving, exhaling without inhaling. Let's remember that one cannot happen without the other. So if you're a classic overgiver, people pleaser, and rescuer of all things wounded, let me be the first to tell you that it's time to receive. As one of our amazing participants in this challenge, Jen, I'm going to call you out this time. I want to give you credit here. And she said, and in a different way, but I'm going to summarize it and put it back to you. She says, it's time to give others the gift of giving to you. It's time to give others the gift of giving to us, to ourselves. For many of us, this is where the largest kink in the hose is. Okay. So now for my relationship trade secret. I've said it in this challenge already, but I haven't clearly identified it as my trade secret until today. Pinder said that the secret to stratospheric success is giving. And the secret to stratospheric relationship success, in my book at least, is self-trust. Yep, trusting all parts of ourselves is the key to all relationship success. It's not your partner that you need to trust. It's you. And everything we just spoke about aligns perfectly with this. Let me show you. I simplified these laws down to one sentence and got this. Remain open to receiving the gifts of others and give your undivided attention and interest to every person you encounter. Well, how do we do this if we are filled with mistrust, skepticism, fear, frustration, anger, and resentment? We can't. We are too full of our own crap to let the good of life in. And what it all boils down to is a lack of trust and faith, non-religious faith, but faith, that we will always be provided for, that life is always happening through us and for us, that everything is happening for the highest good of all involved. So although I'm talking about trusting all the younger parts of you within you, I am also talking about trusting your higher self with a capital S, the part of you that is connected to the powers that be, to God, to the universe, to the oneness, to the infinite intelligence. The bottom line is, if we are finding ourselves in a challenging relationship, the key to turning everything around is rebuilding trust with every part of ourselves, including source. I know this might not be what you want to hear, and you might even be saying to yourself, I do trust myself. It's people, or insert most aggravating person to you on the planet that I don't trust. But remember, your circumstances, situation, or condition, including people, are a perfect reflection of your beliefs. So it's not the outside that needs to change. It's the inside. And once we take radical responsibility that we are the cause of our own results, we are able to reclaim our power and truly create the life and relationships of our dreams. All the other relationship tools, tips, and tricks are just band-aids over a bullet hole. Spend 90% of your energy rebuilding self-trust and 10% learning communication and relationship skills. If you follow this formula and advice, you will see success. I know so because I did it. Not once, but twice. And I've also seen it many, many times, time and time again, for all of my clients. But the thing is, it's much easier said than done. So having the right support along your journey is key. If you would love support in finding the right support for your relationship, just reach out. I'd love to help you. And I promise this is not a sneaky way to sell you anything or promote my services. I truly want to see you transform your relationships, and I am unattached to who you receive that support from. All right. So until we meet again, mahalo. Thank you for playing full out this week with me. And I really, 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 really hope to hear from you soon. Love you all. Bye.